welcome to the channel. Now if you've not watched the channel before, what you'll notice on this channel is there's lots of various things, and that's sort of really showing my sort of knowledge across lots of areas. But anyway, this is a vlog coupled to a little slide video actually, and it's about a chap who I knew about 30 years ago. Well, not quite as long as ago as that. From Hull, a chap called James Lambert, and strangely on the channel the other day, I had a lady come on, and she came on about the Willerby Vogue video I did, and it's a long time ago. Is that'd be, oh gosh, that was one of the early videos that went on, which is at Willerby Caravans in their showground at Hull. Now the thing was, I want to go back there and redo a Willerby Vogue actually, do it a bit better, to be quite honest. Anyway, she said, oh, my dad had a Willerby Vogue, and it was built in Hull, and which of course I knew, and she says it's going to Mathewsons, so the Bangers and Cssh people, to auction. So I got back to it. It's on the, you can go there on the video, so it's a Willerby Vogue. So if you search all through the videos, you'll find that video. It's right down at the bottom, I think. And I replied back to her, said, oh, you know, I think I know that Willerby, and I think it's James Lambert who had the van. And she said, yeah, it's his daughter, and it's been sold off through, so due to bereavement. So I take it that James died. Now I lost touch with James about a good 15 years ago. I only knew his whereabouts at the Historic Caravan Club, because he was a member there for a couple of years, but he had a very few things. He had like a showman's caravan, and also he had the Willerby Vogue, and also he had a Morris 1000 motorhome. You heard me right, a Morris 1000 motorhome. I'll tell you more of that in a minute. He also was a very clever guy that made scale models of vintage cars, and he made a few, and he put a petrol engine, like a lawnmower engine, in, so they were made for his grandchildren to go in. And actually, and I did have it somewhere, he had a supplement in the I think it was Sunday Express colour supplement, and it was all about these cars he'd made. And I got to see one at a show up at Beverley, up on the racecourse, or just off the race, I can't remember. I think it's just on the racecourse. There was like some event on, and I met James up there in 2003, a few years after I'd first been to see him at Hull, and he showed me his Morris 1000, what he was doing. Anyway, he'd brought the Morris 1000, and also he had a little trailer he towed behind the Morris 1000, and he put on one of these cars. It was lost to 7. Now my daughter sat in it and posed in there, and I took some photographs of her. But I also did a feature on his Morris 1000 for a magazine that's no longer with us now, called Hull Caravan magazine, which was IPC Group. And I spent a really interesting afternoon with James. I mean, I'd been to see him, a few times in the mid-90s, to his yard, and he showed me all these, and he gave me loads of some old archive stuff that he collected, and we would talk about the caravan industry in Hull. And he'd worked for Astral caravans, and in fact his motorhome, I think when Astral went into liquidation, which was 1980, I think he went and got some bits and bobs, and he got bits of furniture and curtains that were from Astral from the 60s, and he decided he was going to make this motorhome. But he used to say to me, I can't understand how you know he said to me, "How you live in the West?" He said, "Me in the West, Northwest." And he was in the East. He said, "I don't understand how you know so much about this Eastern. You must have lived." I said, "No, James, I've never lived in the whole area." I said, "I've just been following as a kid," and I said, and asked people, old salesmen now long gone, would tell me about caravans. I've got a whole collect caravans up from Swift and Beverley Coachcraft and names like that. And we got on really, really well. And as I say, I went up to Beverley Race Course. There was this big event on. I think they were doing all sorts of things. It was like, I don't know, some charity thing. Excuse me. And anyway, he brought the Mathewsons up. He drove it around. He let me photograph it. We did a good feature on it. I think we did 2 or 3 pages on it. I will have the magazine somewhere, but not come across it yet. It'll be up in the archives. And he was so helpful, but such a, how can I put it? He was a chap who he didn't brag what he did. He was just sort of kept it sort of quite hidden. He'd say, "Well, it's what I do in my spare time." Instead of going down the pub, he said, "I'm doing this." He said, "I'm making things," and he said, "That's what I like doing." And it wasn't that he just liked doing it. He was damn good at it. He was a craftsman, no doubt about it. But anyway, all his stuff, as far as I can see, has gone to Mathewsons, and that's going for auction. Now you can go and see that on a live auction, which I think is on the 13th of this month, March, and you can see how it progresses now. He's got the Willerby Vogue there. That's in a bit of a sorry state. It looks like it's been left outside. When I saw it originally, and again I did a feature on that Practical Caravan in about 1998, I think it would have been, and he was really, it was just about finished, and he'd saved it from a field somewhere. He'd seen it, and the guy who just wanted it off his land, and he took it and he started renovating it. He was doing a real good job. Now, what's happened is whether it's been left outside, I don't know, and just basically things have got broken on it. So it's not in the best of condition, but it's certainly is savable. Now the thing is, that's going, I think that's at £2,000 to £3,000. And the Mathewsons Motorhome, which is unique, that's £5,000 to £6,000, and it is in pretty good order. Mind you, from what I can see on the pictures, ironically, there was a company called the Oxford Diecast Company, who I was going to do some work with regarding caravan models. Anyway, I picked up a model of James's Mathewsons. They did one. And again, that's up in the archive somewhere. I put it away when I was moving everything up, so I'll dig that out at some stage. But they did a model of it, about so big. So I thought it was only befitting we'd just do a little video on this unique coach-built motorhome that James did, and he did a cracking job. And it was a 3-berth, little child's overhead on the overhead cab, bed, and I think it was just basically for him and his wife. Anyway, you'll have to give the quality of pictures because the pictures are pre-digital, just and so. Another few months after, I think it was 7 or 8 months after I went digitalised, I spent out at that particular time, and but the photographs are a decent quality. So you better see it, and I'd be interested to see what you think of it, because I thought it was great, and it's up for sale, as I say, on the 13th of March. So if you want to put a bid on it, you have to register on their Mathewsons website, and well, fire away. There's a few, say, other bits of James's stuff on there. There's the 30s Caravan, which I only saw very vaguely in the flesh. I think he was in the middle of doing something that I'm not sure, I can't remember now. Because it was about this time of year I went to see him at his place. I think I went about twice. And he used to ring me up and I'd ring him up. Anyway, basically, his miniature cars and his Willerby and his Mathewsons motorhome is there, and they're all going up for sale under the hammer. I think the miniature cars are around about £2,000 or £3,000. I'm not sure. You have to look on the website again. But I'd be interested to see how much they actually go for. They really were really craftsmen. And the thing was, they say, well, James, how do you make these? Where's the plan? And he went, the plans are up here. And he had an eye for it. And he just did it to a scale, and that's how he did. That's how talented that man was. Yeah. So, watch the video. As I say, see what you think. I'd love to hear your comments. It's just something that's a bit different, again, on the channel. And I'll see you on the next one.